everyone. Hey, this is Spencer Caldwell. Super excited about my guest today, Mr. Cam Howell with Putt Tech. And if you haven't heard about Putt Tech, you definitely need to look into them and look them up right now as soon as possible. It's Putt Tech, like in golfing putting, right? And
yeah,
Putt Tech.
Three T's, right?
Three T's, right? Putt and then TEK, right, Cam?
Yeah, exactly. That's correct.
Okay, cool. So the cool thing about his story and just his company is first off, he's partnered up with the development of Pecan Lake down there where we just put the Caldwell County Queen Creek. And there's like 10 attractions around that area, and his is to the very furthest northwest. You need to, when you go get barbecue or go to any of these attractions, you need to walk over there and take a look at his putting area and this putt course that he's developed and master planned. It's an amazing thing. I've got a little, none of my kids were really golfers out of my 4 kids because I just wasn't into it. But lately in the last few years, I've kind of been getting into it. So my 11-year-old loves golf. In fact, I took him golfing Saturday, and it's the 3rd time I've ever been golfing, and it's the 3rd time my 11-year-old's ever been golfing. And this past Saturday, when I say I'm getting into it, it's just like watching it here and there. But it's the 3rd time that we actually went on a course and golfed 9 holes together rather than just doing a driving range or a little putting course. So that being said, we're excited about golf. It's finally come into the Caldwell family after a lot of years. And the cool story about Cam's story is he was actually in the financial world, and he did that for 15 years. And basically, tell them, the audience, Cam, how you got into starting this awesome company called Putt Tech. Give us a little background about that.
Yeah, the background would be I enjoyed what we did. We built a company from scratch with my partners, and I had a CPA that was a partner and an attorney and a guy that owned a broker-dealer. And somehow I was kind of the young guy right out of college, and I just got 20% of the company with everyone else, and we built it and grew it together. And gradually we bought a few people out. And we went from being kind of a sales company to more of an administration company. And the excitement just wasn't there for me. I felt like we were doing everything right, but the IRS was doing everything they could to kind of shut everybody in our industry down. And so gradually there was more and more clients that were getting in trouble and they were having to put their plans with us. So we became this big admin company. And so my staff was doing awesome. They're in Illinois. I was living in Arizona. I had no desire to live out there. And I just didn't have the passion and excitement that was there. I mean, the money was good. We had just moved into a new home here in Queen Creek and had this big backyard, and I just didn't have the passion and excitement. I think that's probably more than anything. And it wasn't something also that I felt like I could control. I felt like I couldn't promise anybody anything because I just didn't know. And so during all that, I had no intent at that point to just go like, hey, I'm going to jump ship and do something totally different. But the creative person in me had this desire to do something. And so we built our backyard, and we put a wiffle ball field kind of in the middle, and I had room for a putting course. And I knew that I wanted to build one. I'd done a small one in our last house. And so built a bigger one and had this idea of making it look more like a real golf course. And it was actually funny how that even happened. I would say it's divine, because my wife and I were saying a prayer together at night. And right when we said amen, she looked up at me and she said, "You should put amen corner in the back corner." Well, as a golfer, that's Augusta, right? That's the Masters, and I've always loved the Masters and had dreams of playing in the Masters and still do. And so I literally got up the next morning with a shovel and just started shoveling, and I could see where a holes 11 and 12 and 13 and a bridge and a leaderboard. I could see it all. And
nice.
And so I just started shaping all that, and pretty soon we finished. I had it roughly shaped. I called a turf company over and asked him what it would cost to even put in a course, and he's like, "I have no idea." I go, "Well, just send me your best crew, and I'll work with them every day, and I'll pay you whatever it is. And when they're done, they're done." And he's like, "You'll be with them?" And I go, "Yeah, for sure. I'm going to have to help them the whole way." And so we got done, and we finished this course. And then as soon as we finished it, I had this big kind of opening day, and we had 115 people show up. And what I found was that nobody left. Like, they came and played, but they were like, "I got to play again. Can I go again? Can I go again? And I'm like, this is weird. I told my wife, this is not putt-putt. This is like a totally different experience because people actually care about the score. And it was everything I dreamed of. And I couldn't find anybody in the country that would build this course for me. And so that's why I just did it myself. But I realized that the world was missing something. And that was that I'm like, personally, I can't stand putt-putt. The golfer in me says it's just ricochet and then tap it in and you get a 1 and a 2 on every hole. And then by about hole 14, you're just thinking, I just want to go get ice cream. And all of a sudden, that was not the case here in my backyard. And I love seeing the people interact with each other and the excitement and this leaderboard that was up there that was going to be the 10 best scores of all time. And people's desire to see their name up on that board and going, hey, can I come back and try and get my name on the board a little higher or whatever it might be. So it didn't take long for me to realize, like, wow, maybe there's something here that we should pursue. So that's kind of how it all started.
That's so cool. You guys, so, we're so scared about, like, kind of being in our business that we don't have excitement, no passion towards, like you said. And for him to be in this career for 15 years and doing well, and things are going good, but just not having that passion, excitement, and wanting to switch gears and getting an answer to that prayer of in his own backyard. I mean, it's just, it's funny because you think of a lot of these famous bands we listen to are garage bands, and a lot of these famous companies are garage companies. I mean, this is a backyard company that's coming out of the woodworks, becoming famous, this Putt Tech company. So you guys
wasn't quite enough room in my garage.
No.
So we had to do it in the backyard.
Exactly. And you guys definitely need to go out to Queen Creek and take a look at his course at the Pecan development out there by Caldwell County, and make sure you stop over there and golf it. And what type of encouragement can you give anyone that's kind of like stuck in the groove of their current situation, and they're just going through the motions of their 8-to-5 job, and they're just not excited? What kind of inspiration could you give them to get out of that and to try to find something else that they are passionate about?
I love that question. So for me, what I do is I mow my own grass. And so when I mow my own grass, my thought is to open my mind and think about nothing else other hit some straight lines and just let the mind be relaxed. And in that, I found for me personally that if my expenses or my debts are low, then my stress is low too. And so what I personally like to do is I like to keep cash just in case. And I like to keep expenses and debts low just so that I don't have to feel like I'm tethered to something that I don't love. And so I was at a point, and I was grateful for that I was like, you know what, I can do this. And I called my business partner and I told him, I said, hey, Jay, just buy me out. And he's like, well, what? I'm like, I'll figure this out. I've got this thing that's driving me, and I'm super excited about it. And I don't care if I take a pay cut in my life because I've never been more excited about something. And so I don't know if that would have happened if I wasn't flexible enough to be able to do that and kind of open to the concept. So that would be kind of the first thing. The second thing, when I was kind of thinking about what to do differently, I had a guy who was kind of the founder of prescription discount cards. He'd sold his company for like ScriptSafe for like $150 million or something.
Wow.
Right? And I asked him, I was playing golf with him one day, and I said, you know what, if I was going to do something different, what do you recommend? And he kind of knew my capabilities and how I cared about, how you do one thing is how you do all things. It's kind of always been sort of a mindset of mine. And he said, I give you 3 things of advice to think about. He goes, make sure whatever you do, your wife's super happy. Make sure your kids are super happy. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. And he goes, and the third thing is find something that you love that you can be the best in the world at. And I thought, oh, gosh, the first 2 seem so simple. And it was later when I realized, when I started Putt Tech and got going, I thought, you know what, this is actually something I love, and there's a chance I could become the best in the world at it. And I don't know of anybody else that's done 86 putting courses, so maybe we're the most. I know Tiger Woods' company with Pop Strokes done 8 or 10 now. No one individual there, but there's a few other companies trying to kind of copy what we've been doing for the last 8 or 9 years. But some have said that we're the best in the world at this, and I thought, man, that realization has come to be. So I'm super grateful for that. Just a few things that come to mind.
No, that's awesome. I like so we talked about mowing the grass, which is a mindset, and that's what gets him in the zone to create that mindset. And all of us better have that happy, safety, sacred zone, whatever you want to call it, to get us in the mindset. And it's funny because I'm one of those guys that for some whatever reason, the creative juices start flowing big time when I'm mowing the grass too. So I can totally respect, and I totally get that. I've love
written
grass
several
too.
books mowing grass, so I haven't written them yet, but I know what they are. They come to me, and it's like inspiration from above. It's just amazing what can happen, I think, when you open up to and ask for that.
Right. I agree. I got to write down two things to go over with you later before I forget, because I think they're important.
We'll have to eat barbecue and do it, okay?
one thing. One second. Okay.
More of that house sauce.
These are things that okay, this is cool. So anyways, I want to get back on track. So find your sacred place, get the creative juices flowing. You've got to have that. Mowing the lawn works for Cam. Mowing the lawn works for me. A lot of people like to hike and do those type of things, and just make sure you have that. And I really, really liked what he said about my life is good and great when he has a correlation with debts being low and stress being low. And so figure out how to do that, because when that happens, then you can be more creative, and more can happen in your life when your stress is low and you're accepting to bringing more in your life while your stress is low. And the way to do that.
Can I throw one more thing on that too?
Yeah.
So to me, not just debt low, but cash needs to be sort of high too. And I think too many people in this world see, like, I made money, I need to go buy something. And oftentimes that buying of something becomes more of a stress, becomes like, oh, great, now I got an additional payment, or I have to maintain, or whatever it might be. So just be super careful about what you purchase, because that purchase you might have thought it would be freedom, but in fact it becomes, sort of a prison. And so I would say my other advice is just be really careful with what you purchase with your money, because having money will free you up, and sometimes using it takes that away.
Right. It's funny because I was just got off my mission. I was at the lake with some friends, and this kid that was a couple years older rolls up in this 100,000 plus truck and 100,000 plus boat, and we weren't with him, but he was either backing it up or pulling it in, and or pulling it out, and basically one of my friends that was with me said, "Man, that's the richest kid I know." And I looked at him and I said, I think you got it wrong. I think that it's opposite. He's like, "Well, look at his truck and boat." I said, that's the kid that you've never seen someone so far in debt, buddy.
Yeah.
So it's mindset. So one thing too, I wanted just to go over, you told me something Tuesday night when we last talked. You were in the financial world, and obviously you can't always control the customer fulfillment and delivery, because a lot of times the financial world is connected to what the IRS is saying or what the stock market is doing.
Sure.
But you said, but I can deliver 100% satisfaction on the putting course that I build in someone's backyard. Go into that just briefly. I know we got to wrap up here soon, but I liked what you said there.
I named the company Putt Tech, and then underneath it says putting courses perfected. And I realize in construction there's no such thing as perfect, but that's the goal every day. And I love to be able to tell a client, you know what, we're going to get this perfect. And if it's not perfect right away and you want something a little different, I can pull it up and we can totally redo it and put it back down. And so if there's out of 9 holes in somebody's backyard or a commercial client, whoever it is, I was just texting Dude Perfect a few days ago because we're going to do a project for them. And I could say the same thing. We're going to make this thing perfect. You guys, your name is Dude Perfect. It's going to be perfect, or else I'm not leaving. And even if you decide 6 months later, it still needs to be a little different, I'm coming back. And that, being able to say that to somebody and know that I'm not pouring concrete, I'm using base material, whatever I need to do so that I know that I can make this thing perfect for them, Usually my client will say, oh, it's perfect. And I'm like, no, it's not there yet. And I'll fix something. But I love to be able to give them that guarantee, and that to them, even though it may not actually be, to them it's perfect. And that's been the goal with all 86 clients.
That is awesome. Just to be able to deliver that customer satisfaction and it's not tied to these other contingencies. I mean, you've got 100% full control of this.
I feel like yeah.
That is awesome. So, hey, guys, we've got to wrap up. Unfortunately, Cam and I could go on for hours. Thank you so much for dialing in and listening. And he went over 3 things, and then finally I'll finish off with these, okay? So basically, he talked about 3 things that are important, that whatever you're doing, and this was important to him, that you can lean on these 3 things with anything that you do in life. And number 1, that your wife is happy. Number 2, your kids are happy. And just be the best at whatever you are doing in the world. And if you can follow those 3 things, I promise you will have happiness in whatever you are doing. So, Cam, thank you so much for your time.
You bet.
You are very nice to share your story with us. And once again, guys, go check out Putt Tech and get yourself a little, golf course putting range in the back of your yard. You definitely need it. It's a great family building, bonding experience. And thank you so much, Cam. Have a great day. And everyone, thank you for tuning in today.